What up, YouTube legs? Coming back at you with another Starcraft 2 cast. On the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have our blue Terran player aKer, and on the top right-hand side of the map, we have our red Terran player ZashA. This is a gold versus gold level match that was sent to me via email, so it should be a very fun game to watch indeed. Taking a look right here, it does look like this is going to be supply depots on the ramps to the main for both players. So no unusual plays so far. We don't see any SCVs running across the map in preparation to build proxies. And we do have the barracks coming down for ZashA just a little bit faster than our blue Terran player. It should not be a big deal. In mirror matchups, I do like to see who did it faster though. And it does look like ZashA was able to throw down that barracks slightly faster than our blue Terran player. And it does look like aKer is going to be sending a scout to the red Terran player side of things. We do see double gas here. This should tell aKer that this may be an early-ish factory play for his opponent here. Wall already finished up for the blue Terran player. We do not have a wall. We do not have a wall for ZashA yet. This will let aKer into the red Terran base, and we'll see that this is going to be a double gas opener for his opponent here. This should give him enough information early on in the game to know what to do. Briefly blocks this supply depot and does manage to escape the enemy base with that valuable information. Right here, it does look like aKer is preparing to throw down an expansion. ZashA will come up the ramp, will be blocked off, but we'll see that this is going to be a reactor thrown down onto this barracks here. Pokes it once and runs away. This will also give ZashA some pretty valuable information, because this should tell him that this is going to be some sort of early bio ball, early barracks play for the blue Terran player, and we do have the expansion being thrown down. I don't think ZashA quite noticed, does not seem to be reacting, and is indeed throwing down the factory right here. Not throwing down an expansion, so will start to fall behind in economy if he doesn't expand relatively soon. This Reaper looks to be like a defensive Reaper staying home. You don't see that too often. And we do have the factory here throwing down the tech lab and a starport building as well. This expansion just about finishing up for the blue Terran player, and we do have quite a few Marines being pumped out for this early in the game, plus a follow-up of 2 barracks. So this will indeed be a bio ball. Tanks or mines, not the worst decision for ZashA in this situation. And keep in mind, he did see this reactor here, so it's likely he will be reacting to this relatively soon here. We have a reactor being thrown down onto this factory as well. I expect this is going to be double pumping tanks just to keep a solid defense against Marine Marauder. Tanks are very good in the early game for defending the natural and the main base of Terran players. He could throw down a tank on this ledge here. That would give him great range on top of these minerals and this side of the natural. You could throw down tanks in or close to the mineral line and keep an eye on this ramp as well. So this is going to be a pretty solid defense for ZashA if I'm right and he starts to double pump tanks. We're not seeing too much macro just yet. I would like to see some army units being pumped out, because this is going to be a lot of Marines, and I expect Marauders to be coming out of these barracks as well, just because we do have the double tech lab, which is researching stim and combat shields for these Marines here. Taking a look at our units, it is 31 workers, 225, not the biggest lead, but he is a little bit ahead. We do have this command center here, which is finishing up for the Terran player. This defensive Reaper just keeping an eye on this ledge here. Did see the reactor, maybe is afraid that there's going to be some early harassment coming in from this side of his base right here. We do have the Raven as well. This will be good for keeping an eye on potential mines, or even being able to scout and potentially throwing down some harassment in the mineral lines here. So Raven, not a bad choice to have. I feel like this is a little bit early for the Terran player, but it is a good unit, so it's not bad to have that Raven out. And it does look like we have a Thor coming out for our Terran player here, coming out of this factory. I wonder if this is going to be an early Thor drop. Such a cool unit, just a giant mech. I feel like we don't see Thors enough these days. Maybe I'm wrong, but in the games I play, we do not see them. And the fact that they just don't even fit in the medevac, they just get lifted up. That is so cool. Anyway, no crazy pushes coming out just yet, but aKer is stockpiling a pretty solid bio ball here. We do have this medevac coming into what I think will be the back of the main base of the blue Terran player. aKer going out to push what is going to be the natural base of the red Terran player. Let's see what this Thor can accomplish here. I am very, very curious. There is no defense. He is currently just sitting. We do have a push here from that Raven, getting 5 kills. Looks like aKer losing 5 SCVs here, and at the same time, ZashA coming in with the Thor. Good reaction time coming in from aKer here. This Thor is just going to be a pest. It looks like he will get taken down, though, unfortunately. Does lose the medevac and that Thor. Taking a look at units lost here. It is 13 workers killed by ZashA, so not the worst. Not the worst. Taking a look at our unit count here as well. This does put ZashA ahead in workers by 10, so pretty strong push, I will say. Bunker thrown down at the natural ramp of the red Terran player here, and we do have the tanks in a very good defensive position. Second tank coming up, which will help quite a lot. That will double the DPS being thrown down on this ramp here. Does siege up, looks like just in time. This tank getting 7 kills immediately. Tanks are just such a good defensive unit. What I think aKer could do is lift off and land on top of these tanks here. That would be able to snipe both the tanks and start throwing down some really, really hard pressure on ZashA's side of things. It is 56 army to 29. Taking a look up here, though, we do have this tank that is not quite sieged up, but once it does get sieged up, sniping these tanks will be very difficult. They will be supporting each other here. These tanks will be supporting this side of the base. This tank would have been supporting the lower side of the base here. We do have 2 medevacs and not a lot of anti-air. I would love to see aKer lift off and just snipe these tanks here. Now it will be a little more difficult just because of the staggered positioning of these tanks. And the Liberator here, not the position I would have personally chosen. I do see why. It is to protect this tank right here. It looks like these units not getting lifted off with the rest of the base, though. This tank will destroy this barracks that ZashA was trying to throw down. This tank is going to be very annoying to deal with. It is in a very solid position here. Does unsiege to go back to the support of the rest of the army here. This tank getting blinded by the Raven will get sniped by ZashA's army here. aKer lifting off. Does manage to save that medevac so low on health and with a full supply of units in its belly. Does manage to get away. Taking a look at the units lost, it is now 10 workers to 15. So evening up the workers lost count just a little bit here. Taking a look at resources lost, it does look like aKer is 1,000 resources lost more than our red Terran player here. Not the worst thing in the world, especially because it does look like ZashA is stockpiling about that many minerals, so that should cancel out the resources lost. This game is in a relatively even state right now. I'm not sure who's ahead. We don't really know. We don't have any win condition yet. We don't usually at some point in the game you can tell who is in a better position and who might be the player that will win. But right now, it's really hard for me to tell. It does look like this is going to be a hard engagement for ZashA, though. Does lose that Liberator, and we have most of the Terran army surviving here. We do have a few more units trapped in this medevac's belly with the move out. I would like to see aKer drop these units here, but now, just as I was saying, we don't really know who's going to win. It does look like aKer is in the winning position here. It is, what, 11 army supply on ZashA's side to 73 army supply on aKer's side. I just don't know if ZashA is going to be able to hold this. We do have the siege tank hanging out in the mineral line here. ZashA should move this tank up, but may not be able to do it in time. This tank will get sniped. This Marine will go down as well. This tank will not stand a chance alone. Gets sniped immediately. All these workers in the mineral line will go down. ZashA leaving the game, no GG, giving the victory to our blue Terran player, aKer. Very cool game indeed. Just not able to hold that final push in time. I think that engagement right here at the ramp, that attempt to push into aKer's main base just did not work. And ultimately losing his entire army and giving the army supply advantage to our blue Terran player and giving him the win. So very solid game indeed. If you liked what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. And if you want me to cast any of your games, my email will be in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.